cells. Today we're going to talk about some of the parts of the cell. There are two main types of cells, prokaryotic, which are mostly bacteria, and then eukaryotic, which are pretty much everything else. And those we're going to break down into plant and animal. Now, plant and animal cells have a lot that are in common, like the nucleus. You can see both of them have a nucleus, which is kind of like the brain of the cell, and then they have the darker area, which is the nucleolus. That's where they produce ribosomes that are then studded onto the endoplasmic reticulum, which is right next to the nucleus. Then you come into the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The little studded things, the ribosomes, they carry out protein synthesis. And the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for hormone production. So that's going to vary depending on what type of cell it is. Lysosomes carry out the digestive enzymes, so I consider them the maid of the cell. They keep the cell clean. So if there's stuff that shouldn't be there, it's going to go around and digest it and get rid of it. The Golgi, which is like a stack of pancakes, it's kind of hard to see on this, but that is like the post office of the cell. It's going to package up things and transport them around the cell. The mitochondria, usually in the pictures it's represented by like a little red Myconite type thing. That is the powerhouse of the cell. That's where they're going to get their energy for the Krebs cycle. The cytoskeleton, which doesn't really show up well on the blackboard, is made up of three types of filaments, microtubules, and microfilaments, and intermediate fibers. So that gives structure to the cell. Cytoplasm is just the collective term for the cell and the fluid and the organelles that are within it. The cell membrane, you can think of that like the plastic wrap. That's going to be on an animal cell, the outer edge. And in a plant cell, there is a cell membrane, but it's also surrounded by a cell wall. Cilia, some cells will have, those are like the little hairs in your nose. And a flagellum is usually used for locomotion. When you look at the euglena, you'll see they have a flagellum to move. A central vacuole helps regulate fluid in and out of the cell. The plant cell has a very large one. The animal cells will have them, but they're much smaller. Cell wall, as we mentioned, plant cells have that. And chloroplasts are mostly found in plant cells. But again, euglena do actually have chloroplasts, and they are considered an animal cell.